Welcome to the NBTLT podcast with your guides to this magical journey, Lon and Zumi.
Welcome back to another episode of the Nothing Better to Listen To podcast, the only podcast that doesn't hold your hand and tell you everything will be all right. Because it won't. And I'm here with Zumi. How you doing, Zoom?
Everything will be all right.
No, it won't. It won't be all right.
I know you haven't been all right.
No, I've been quite sick.
Yeah, you did. You didn't even upload my fucking solo episode for last week. People are gonna think that we, dissed him or
Dude,
something.
I was fucking dying. And I'm not the only one. I gave it to Christelle, and now she's coughing up a lung. And dude, you should see the shit that I'm coughing.
You mean like you gave it to Christelle like an STD?
Yeah, like gonorrhea of the lungs. It's terrible.
You got fucking what's that virus that oh yeah, speaking of sick, I got some like sad news.
Oh, great. I love sad news.
My puppy's hospitalized as we are speaking right now. Yeah. He got that.
What the fuck did you do to your puppy?
Nothing. I guess he wasn't eating, and we thought it was the food at first, and so we changed foods and stuff, and all of a sudden he's like not eating. Take him to the vet, and then I said like, your puppy's sick, like dying sick, and we're like,
did they call PPS on you?
And we're like, what the fuck? PPS,
Puppy Protective Services.
So, I mean, the vet straight up said like, right now it's like he's at a 50-50.
What the fuck,
yeah,
Zumi?
They're gonna keep he's in the hospital right now, and so they're
Did you give him Mexican water?
No, I guess there's like something in plants. There's like a virus. It's yeah.
It sounds like a movie.
It sounds like a movie, but no. But I guess they're saying that he might have got it from like some of the plants that are around like the patio area where I live.
Well, I have a hint. Maybe you stop like planting poisonous plants around your house.
We don't have poisonous plants. We're just
apparently
that's
you
what
got
the
something.
vet said. He could have pulled something out of his ass just to like. I mean, to be honest, like I don't know a lot about like dogs and stuff.
That's
so
why they get you.
He could have said, there was a baby unicorn.
Punching holes in your dog's stomach.
Yeah, and I would have been like, oh, okay, so how, 3,000, about 3,000. That's what I'm thinking.
I was gonna suggest 3,000.
Why don't you charge me 4,000? So next time I'm like, if you educate myself before I even come here, get my ass raped.
Well, that's the whole thing about veterinarians. Now, I totally respect veterinarians because what I've been told. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. I'm a nobody, but what I've been told is that veterinarians actually have, a lot more stuff that they have to study when they're in school because they have to study a wide range of species, right?
Makes sense.
And I know that there's like different.
Well, yeah, I mean, think about it. It's not, I mean, if a human being comes in, it's like you're either being white or being black doesn't make your anatomy doesn't change, but being a dog and being a cat.
Yeah, or an iguana.
Yeah.
Or a hamster. I think if a hamster gets sick, you just let it go, right?
I mean, I guess you can eat it.
There's not a lot of meat on a hamster, but
I think they
you
eat
can
them
make little nuggets.
I think Ecuador. I think they cook them in Ecuador. It's like
fucked up.
like a traditional dish.
Did you ever have a squirrel in survival training?
No.
Really? You didn't? You got none of you actually caught a squirrel?
No, dude. My instructor was an asshole.
Well, so was mine.
He's a fucking prick. He didn't teach us any cool shit,
Well,
he just had this fucking smirk, and he was like all like butthurt about being colorblind. It's like, it's not my fucking fault,
Well, I guess so, but we can get back to survival because that's something I wanted to talk about was the like our stories from water survival and POW training and just basic survival.
Before we get on that though, like, so what? Well, did you just have a bug?
Did I?
Yeah, or do you have the HIV?
I have no idea.
You have the HIV, don't you?
Something. I got something, dude. I got like, West African butt disease or something like that. What is this?
Should have not fucked that monkey.
I'm gonna
dude,
ask
I
my
told
wife.
you.
What do we have?
You butt fuck a monkey.
Is it a cold?
Yeah, it's just around the chest.
Well, that's the thing is, like, every time I've had a cold,
Lonnie,
like,
if you butt fuck a monkey, that's what you're gonna get.
Didn't they trace that back, like HIV, the HIV virus?
Well, that's a myth. Like, he didn't fuck a monkey. What they're saying is...
No, I'm not saying he fucked a monkey. I'm saying, they came in contact with something with a monkey.
Well, he cut himself, and
yeah,
there's, like, blood with blood, and yeah. That's the speculation. Okay. That's what... But,
But we like to make fun of those people and say he fucked a monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I don't know what we had. Christelle says it's a cold, but like I was going to say is that later on in life, like after like 25 years old, every time I got a cold, it's always different. Like it feels the same in a lot of ways, but like there's little things that are added. Like, well, yeah, that's the whole thing is it's always a different strain, right? Where you get it from a different person and you get like those little like mutated viruses, like they got better at fucking up your system, so like, oh, this time instead of just having the cold, you're gonna shit for 8 days straight without being able to stop, or like the next time after that you're gonna have all that plus the shitting. Not as much.
Oh, okay.
Not as much.
I remember being...
No, would you like to know the consistency too? I'm sure our listeners would love to hear that.
Well, no, but I mean, I remember like, I think I was talking to my brother like on the problems of like how like way back in the day, even like diarrhea was
deadly.
Yeah, like you could die off of that shit. Like now, now they just give you fucking penicillin or whatever, and you're fine, right? But like, dude, I couldn't have eaten. I couldn't enjoy Mexican food way back in the day.
No, because you're like signing your own death warrant because you don't know.
I would have died like at the age of like 12 or something.
Nothing greasy.
How did he die? It's like he fucking shit himself out.
But it was a big deal. I mean, like in the 1800s, how many people were dying of dysentery?
Yeah,
or before that,
I don't know, but I remember like getting sick once. I think I've told you this before. Like I actually got, I was like hospitalized. Like I took some like Lamodin or Lamotil, whatever you want to call them, like, and it was just not fucking plucking up that hole, dude. Like I would drink, like I was trying to like stay hydrated, so I would like take like Gatorades or like a sip of water or whatever, and like 2 minutes later it would just come out. It was just
the same fashion that it went in.
Yeah, it literally, I don't know, maybe that's how I think I felt like how girls feel when they pee. Because literally, like liquid will just come out of my butthole.
Yeah.
And it's like no control. It's just like liquid, and you're like, the fuck. And
it's not enjoyable. There's no relief from it.
Right. There's no relief. There wasn't any pain except when like went and like pat my like to like clean myself, but it was like it literally like it's like I'm peeing out of my butthole. I don't know if girls feels this way when they fucking pee out of their like vaginas. I
don't know. Be sure to email in.
I would never know. So, but and then I had another situation when I was like, I think I was like 14, dude. I was like, it was coming out of both ends, and that was not fun. Like taking a shit while puking.
Oh yeah, I had that while I was in Mexico. I think I may have told you that story once before, a long time ago. It was my senior year of high school. They did like a little missions trip thing where all the seniors went to, was it right next to Tecate?
Yeah.
And they were building, like 4-wall houses. Like nothing, nothing
Nothing fancy.
I don't. Yeah, I think we were doing it out in like a landfill where people were actually residing. But I mean, people had like garage doors and stuff as like another wall. But it was actually a fun trip up until this point. But
you know what we call those? We call them carton houses.
Yeah, yeah,
they're
that's
not
basically what they were.
They're not literally made out of carton, but
Well,
like a cardboard.
The thing was, it was. I think it was the day. Yes, it was the day before we were getting ready to leave and drive back up to the States, and we had all gone in buses, right? And at about 11 o'clock at night, everybody was passed out, right? Everybody had just fallen asleep, I mean, it's a bunch of seniors in high school, but we all went to bed. We're all tired because we had all been doing like manual labor the whole day. And it's about 11 o'clock at night, and I wake up to someone like jumping out of their bed, and we were all in like this dorm room type, it was this big room and it had a bunch of bunk beds. But I heard someone jump off their bunk, and they run to the bathroom, and you can hear everything because the walls are so thin at this little mission that we were at. And this guy just starts like violently puking. Like he's like, like halfway screaming, halfway puking.
Oh,
it was so bad. Like doing the but that happens and everybody's like, what the fuck? So we kind of, turn over and try to go back to sleep. Not even a couple minutes later, someone else jumps out of bed and does the same fucking thing. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, trying to go to sleep going, oh my God, that's two of them. I'm like, I hope I didn't get sick. About an hour goes by. During that hour, almost everybody in the bunk had gone to the bathroom. And it was my turn. And I felt it. And once I felt it, man, it was such a terrible feeling. Like, when you have to puke, but it's so aggressive.
As you take a bite of that sandwich during your lunch hour. Like people that are listening.
But like when it's
Sorry, guys.
Such an aggressive pain in your stomach, and you get like that watery feeling in your mouth.
Yeah. Oh man.
And you're like, oh God, oh my God.
Have you ever puked so bad that like it actually hurts your face and you start crying?
Well, yes,
Yeah,
and this is I was gonna say is that I was actually counting how many times I was puking, like had to get up and go puke. 13 times I got up and puked in like the span of maybe 2 hours. And I remember driving home on the bus. Oh, I wasn't on the bus, I'm sorry. Everybody else had gone on the bus, and there was like 4 or 5 of us that went in somebody's van because we were just, like, I was one of the people that was just really, really sick. And we were able to stop because we're in a little van so that we could pull over and puke. And we had to do this like every 45 minutes. Because like when one person would puke, another person would feel it come up, and then everybody would just do it, and then we'd get back in the van and keep driving. Well, I heard the stories where
just sympathy puking like
yes. And I heard the stories of the people that were riding the bus. Like everybody was sick. Nobody went home that wasn't sick. On the bus, the story is that they were passing a bucket up and down that middle aisle on the bus.
Bro.
Because I mean, it's just so bad. When I got home, my dad came to pick me up from the school where we were dropped off, and my dad just looked at me and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think I'm okay. I'm pretty sick, but I think I'm all right now." Well, he's like, "Well, you look terrible." So I get home and I haven't seen myself. There's no mirrors at the mission. So I get home, I go to the bathroom to go take a shower, and I look in the mirror, and you can see like my cheekbones just sticking out, and my eyes are all sunken in. And so I thought, I'm going to step on the scale. Dude, I had lost almost 15 pounds on that trip. It was just insane. And apparently it was around the same time that one cruise ship in 2003, right? Yeah, 2003, that was down in the Gulf of Mexico, had the entire cruise got sick with basically the same thing. But that was one of the worst times I've been sick. But yeah, I wasn't quite that sick this week, but as you can tell from my voice, those of you who are listening,
no excuse, dude. Though
there's a little bit of depth in my voice.
My solo episode was amazing. I just want to throw it out there.
Yes, it'll be the bonus content,
which will be added.
Yes, should I add it to this one?
Probably.
And just put it at the end.
Maybe.
Or put it. No, I'll put it. Should I put it at the end or the beginning? I guess I could put it at the end.
Well, I mean,
you know
if we're talking about it right now. Like, if we put it at the beginning, it's kind of pointless, right? Then
or I could just I could do a separate one entirely.
Yeah, let's just do a separate one then.
I'll do a separate one. So it'll be like a little. I'll title it like Zoomies bonus content or Zoomies boner. You know, whatever.
We'll get a twofer.
Bonus boner.
So yeah. So like I totally forgot like my puppy. They haven't called me, so I'm thinking he's still good.
Thinking he's still good? It's either really good or really bad.
Yeah, but I was like, I got the call yesterday at while I was in work. It's like I'm like almost done with work too, and I get the call from my wife, and I'm like, my boss is like, everything okay? And I'm like, I don't know, puppy's sick, he's hospitalized, and everybody's going like, oh no, you just got this puppy.
Like, what the fuck did you do?
You know, it's like, I didn't do shit, man.
Dude, that sucks. I hate when puppies get sick.
So
it's like having a little kid get sick. You know, you can't do anything.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I told you about my dogs, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if did I tell you like.
Well,
during the podcast,
I don't know if you told me on here. Give a little little backstory.
I mean, if I didn't tell it on the podcast before, like I had a couple of dogs that died like in a span of like 1 year, like 3 dogs. Yeah. And
it's fucking terrible.
Yeah, I mean.
You're bad luck, Sumi.
It's not
I don't think you should have dogs.
Maybe it wasn't cut up for dogs, but yeah. So like one of them, he just crawled like his corner and like died, and the other one got really really sick to the point, kind of like this one, man. Like where the vet just said, like, dude, like you're better off like just putting this poor creature down.
Yeah, do you think that there might be something going on?
I don't know.
Like, is there some type of,
like
it could be the plant, like you said.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know, but they were like separate incidents, and they're not like close together, you know. But it's like it was within a span of a year.
It's a little odd.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Are you becoming desensitized yet?
Well.
Or is it still fucking terrible?
Well, that's the thing. Like you gotta keep in mind. Like I grew up in Mexico, right? And
there's dogs everywhere.
Every dog that I had before, like when they died, it was just like, yeah, dog died. Like just fucking throw it in. Like there's like no fucking pet cemeteries. Like there's a garbage. Yeah, you would just throw it like somewhere.
Oh
like
my god,
somebody's property.
Dude, there's so many people that I know who listen to this that are just gonna want to murder you just for the fact that you live in this place.
Oh, well, this was back in the day, you know. Like now we have pet cemeteries and all that shit. No, like on like these dogs that we sent them to, we had them cremated. So, but on the last one, JD like really hit me.
And JD's this last one.
JD is the golden retriever.
Oh, love golden retrievers. That was my first dog, dude.
And that puppy, I got him. It was like, shortly after like my child passing away with my first wife, and
just subsequent events.
And I had him, and like it was just one of those things when he got sick. By this time, like I wasn't taking care of this dog anymore, like. But when I saw him like lying down there, just like having essentially like the last breath of his life. I was just like,
stop,
dude. It's. You ever seen that scene in Old Yeller?
Are you really gonna go there?
I am gonna go there.
No, we're not gonna talk about that.
No, that I essentially I gotta fucking I broke down. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I broke down. It felt like my son was dying all over again. It was
because you connect the events.
It was really, really intense, and then but when I thought about it, like my history with dogs, like when I was a kid and stuff, like no dog had ever had that like emotional impact on me. Dog had died. All right, the dog died. Where are we gonna like bury it or throw it?
Yeah,
that was essentially it. I mean,
well, see, the hardest one for me was probably it was Samson. I don't know if you ever got to see Samson. My dad took care of him.
Oh no, yeah.
The brown and white one.
Yeah, I got to meet him.
Old dog.
Yeah. He looked. He looked fucking cool as shit though. Like he was like almost blind when I I met him.
It was such a good dog too, and I remember when he died. The only reason it was so hard for me was because I went with my dad, and my dad was my dad, big dude, right?
Yeah.
And my dad was just pouring tears.
Dude.
And it's just one of those things, and that was the shitty part is that it could have been a connect of incidents because my dad had just like started the divorce, I think, right? He had just started the divorce with my mom that he had been married to for, gosh, I think that was like 23 or 24 years.
Damn.
And they get divorced, and then a few months later, he's in his own place, and then the dog, has to be put down. So that was shitty.
And you guys put him down yourself.
I'm not gonna confirm or deny. But
well,
that was rough.
To be honest, like it's like one of those things where like I don't know where I saw it. Like, oh yeah. It's like Game of Thrones. Remember that scene where they kill the wolf, and it's like no,
dude,
like this wolf deserves a Northman, not a fucking butcher.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how. I mean, at that point, though, Lonnie, like it's mercy. It's not.
Well, yeah. Well, like with Samson, he had really bad hip dysplasia. Like, but it also happened right after he had a stroke.
Jesus.
I mean, he was just done. It was like nature's way of saying, "Yeah, you're done." But he had a stroke, and it wasn't like really bad. But like he from that, he started to have problems standing up and stuff. Like he was fine right before that, and then he had the stroke, and then right after that, hip dysplasia, couldn't use his back legs at all. So he was just dragging, and my dad's like, "Fuck," because at that point you're like, yeah, that's enough. And I don't remember how old he was. I think he might have been like 12 or 13, maybe. Maybe Christelle knows. Do you remember my dad saying anything? 14.
Human years, right?
Good Lord, yes. But the dog that we had before that, my first dog, her name was Red, and she was a golden retriever. And she was huge. I mean, really big for a golden retriever. And my dad had found her out at a borax mine when he was working there. And she had, I forget what had happened. Like she had swallowed something around the borax site, like some of the water that had some of the chemicals and stuff. So he had taken a hose and like tried to flush her out and stuff. And he took her home, and that ended up being our dog. And she was like almost 16 when she died.
Wow.
But I remember that because I was just a kid, and we came home, and I look in the backyard, and Red's just laying there in the middle of the backyard. I was like, she's done. But that kind of sucked, but not quite as much as Samson. But now that we've depressed our listeners,
I know we went pretty dark on that one.
hey, we got to show people that we have a soul too. You know,
Well,
I did get a new car.
me too.
Well, I didn't get a new car. What kind of car did you get?
I think I already told you.
Yeah, well, if it's the same one, then yes.
Yeah, it's a Nissan
Okay,
Altima.
alright.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Well,
new for me is it's an old fucking car. It's like new for me.
Well,
That counts.
I got one of those too.
That counts, right?
Yeah. Well, Christelle and I, we the transmission went out on our van.
Did you get another vagina with wheels?
No. No, we got to get something to fit the whole family, dude. I got 4 kids.
You can fit
But,
them in a vagina with wheels.
You could fit them, doesn't mean that it's legal. This isn't Mexico, Zumi. We don't fit 30 people into a Prius. You can say something. It's okay.
You can fit 31, actually.
I have a joke for that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, what did Davy Crockett say to Dan... or what is it?
Oh,
Daniel Boone?
You don't have a joke then.
What did Crockett say to Boone when all the Mexicans showed up at the Alamo?
They only had 2 trucks?
Are we getting drywall today?
No. I thought... Oh, no. I'm so...
No,
I
why
totally,
was there only 3,000 or something
Yeah,
like that Mexicans at the Alamo?
I totally fucked up that joke, didn't I?
How many Mexicans were at the Alamo? I always fuck this up.
I don't know, dude.
Let's just say 3,000.
The Alamo's not a big fucking part of history. Mexican history.
Well, dude,
Just like...
you've been to
just like...
you went to the Alamo in
just-
San Antonio,
Yeah,
right?
just like Cinco de Mayo is not a fucking... It's not a holiday for us.
Okay. Let me ask you. What was your first thought when you saw the Alamo?
I thought, guys died for this piece of crap.
Yeah. How small is it?
Really, really small.
Really small. I mean, the exhibit is bigger than the bigger than the Alamo,
Well, it's
and it was basically a mission, right?
yeah.
That that ended up as like a military location.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, when I first saw it, like when you walk through the gates, like downtown San Antonio, you walk through the gates and you're like, all right, where is it? It's like, oh, it's that tiny little building right there.
It's not even like a
what?
It doesn't even look like a building. It looks
Dude,
like
it looks like a room.
Yeah, it looks like it looks
What
like
the fuck is
a
that
house.
about?
It's like a hacienda house, and you're like, huh? Like people fought for this? I'm like,
It's like, well, yeah, the Mexicans won. It's not like they had to fight very hard. You know, they just shoot at this one direction, or it wasn't shoot. Yeah, it was. She was shooting. Davy Crockett. Yeah, but anyway, yes, we Christelle signed this vehicle off in her name, and it's a 2002 Yukon XL GMC. So it's basically a Suburban.
oh, yeah, or like what Mexican would say, "Una Yukon."
What is this? I don't speak Spanish.
Well,
Zumi.
it's a Yukon. Una Yukon.
Oh,
That's what they call.
you just add the accent.
Yeah.
Okay. So
You-
how many Mexicans can you fit in a Yukon XL? Because this one seats 8 legally. How many Mexicans can you fit in there?
You can probably fit 20.
That's it?
Well, comfortably, you know.
Oh, comfortably. What is it if you're trying to cross the border? 40? Because you got guys on the roof?
Shit.
And the bumper? You just open up the back, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got a new vehicle. The transmission just totally died on her minivan, which is not uncommon with minivans. You know,
Yeah.
found that out the hard way.
What kind of
Yeah.
minivan that you had? You had Dodge?
Yeah, we had a 2000 Dodge Grand Caravan,
Yeah.
but it had the 3.8 engine. So I was kind of sad that we had to give it up because that 3.8 is pretty badass in that little van. But it was good for us while it lasted.
My wife refuses to for me to get a minivan.
Well, yeah, I'm not too big on them anymore.
Even though that's what it. When there's 5, that's what makes sense, right?
Yep.
You have 6. So
Well, we're all excited because
eight if you take the dog. So
well, yeah, and that's the thing is that the first thing that I mean, we've been talking about it all day because we've been in the vehicle is like, how big is this vehicle? I mean, it's not huge, but it's pretty big, right?
yeah.
And our kids have like this nice separation between them, you know, and because there's bench seats for the those 2 rows, so they have this whole seat in between them,
Right.
and it's just so much better. The van wasn't quite as wide, so they could like hit each other and stuff. Now they have to like lean over to do it, and you can catch them in the act. But it's got a nice little sound system in it with a aftermarket subwoofer and amplifier, and
I think
so it's kind of nice.
I think the only way you can get me to buy like a Suburban or like una Yukon is if it has that rear view camera, dude.
Well, that's something I was. It doesn't drive like a big vehicle. It actually feels a lot like my my Explorer when I'm driving it, and it's really comfortable to drive. However, I do want to get Christelle that rear view camera and get her one of those. I do have to get her a new, DVD deck because it has DVD, like the screens in the back of the headrests.
Yeah.
I need to get her a new one because the DVD player is not actually working. The rest of the sound system works great, but when I do it, I want to get her one of those that has the touch screen on it. Excuse me. That switches over to the rear view when you're backing up.
Yeah, that's what I got. I mean, it's
hard to go back after you have that.
Well, I to be honest, I still like lean back. I look back and stuff, and the only time I look at the camera is to just, like, you know how like if it feels like really really close, just to get that, and even then like I'll stop and I'll like park the car, go back, and I'm like, fuck, I still have like that fucking much room. Like I don't know how to use this camera.
Well, I've gotten pretty good at distances and like backing up because that's basically what I do all day at work, and I do it with bigger vehicles than Christelle's Yukon now. But I've gotten a little bit more comfortable with it, but I would like her to have that camera, just so she can.
Yeah, if you can't get
and maybe that little beeper that says like, "Hey, you're kind of fucking close."
Get the one camera that actually gives you like how much you're supposed to like steer the wheel.
Oh yeah, we have those at work for all the work vehicles. Like they have the lines.
Yeah, those are fucking.
Like
badass.
When you're backing up, they are pretty cool.
Have you seen the Ford Fusion, the new one?
Yeah, we have 2 of them at work.
The one that parallel parks on its own.
Yes,
dude.
Yeah, it's cheating.
That thing's fucked up, man. I was like, where have you been all my life?
Yeah. Well, Christelle's getting pretty good at parallel parking because she has to park that damn Yukon out on the street because it won't fit in our parking spot. Oh, God bless you.
Oh, thank you. Excuse me. So, no, but yeah, like, it's just like fucking, like, I'll be the first one to admit, like, I fucking suck at parallel parking. Like, I can't. Like,
I'm okay at it.
I don't know how I passed that driving test in Washington when they said, okay, parallel park here, and I'm like, because it was like flawless. It was a 1, 2, 3 park and done.
You couldn't do the 2-point.
What do you mean a 2-point?
You never done a 2-point parallel park?
No, you go
1, 2.
No, but 1, 2, 3. It's you stop and then you back up and then you go front, right?
Yeah, I guess so, dude. It's been such a long time.
Just how you explained it. That's what I did. Like it was perfect.
Okay.
It was just like one flow. Like
so you can't do a 2. So like a 2 would be like you stop and then you back into the spot and you're done.
Right.
That's perfection.
Well, that's almost impossible though. Like the
What are you talking about? Christelle did it today.
The separation of the cars has to be like more than just one, whatever your car fits.
Dude, it sucks when you only have like inches more than what your car's length is.
Yeah. So.
And that's like San Francisco. Have you ever tried to parallel park in San Francisco?
No, I always have somebody else
on a
driving.
hill. Holy shit.
No, I had somebody else driving. Like, fuck that.
Well, it sucks. Like, I've seen people try to parallel park in San Francisco on a hill with a manual. It's like in a spot that's like, just inches longer than their vehicle.
I think if you had like a Honda Fit or something like that, then yeah, like I can see that. But
what, that doesn't have a lot of play with the clutch? You're like,
yeah. So, but no, screw that, man. Screw parallel parking on a downhill or uphill.
Oh yeah,
no.
There's no reason. There's no reason. So, I've been doing a lot of homework lately.
Oh yeah.
The one thing that Chris
Did you find
was
yourself?
making me no. I will say that no matter where you go, like if you're going to online class or if you're going into an actual classroom, every single college is so ridiculously liberal. It's insane, dude. I mean, like the curriculum will just shove it in your face. Like climate change is like the number one topic about everything. And then the next one would be, the gay rights movement. And then, stuff like that. But the thing that was making me laugh earlier, when Christelle told me, is that she was doing her homework and she's a little tipsy. But when she's drinking and she does her homework, like you have to make posts when you do online courses.
Right.
Like as your participation. And how many words do you have to have for it to be considered an actual participation? 80 to 100? Okay, so about the same as mine. And look, just like me, like if I've been drinking and I do school and I start to do like participation post, my post is going to be a lot longer than 80 to 100 words. It's going to end up being like 300 to 400. And it'll expound on all of these things that you were reading that you didn't actually fucking read. But it's I thought it was pretty funny. She was telling me, she's like, what did you say? Like, I need to drink more often when I'm doing.
That's the bad thing about, don't ever drink when you do your homework because you write a novel. But I like drinking when I do my homework because I actually have something to say.
Yeah, you don't hold anything back.
Yeah.
Like, there's been a couple of weeks that I've been in school, like, where I'll write something as my participation post, and I don't remember what the hell I posted because I was drinking, and I'll look at it, like, the next day, and it'll say, like, I got a substantive post, like, the teacher approved of it.
Right. As,
like, a good participation post, and I'll read through it, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, did she actually approve that? But it's like a block. It's like 2 paragraphs, But anyway, I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I know you don't. You have that look on your face.
It's like, well, like, I don't know. Fucking participation points, dude. Like, I
hate them.
It just, it brought flashbacks. Like, I remember, like, I had to take a fucking art class, right?
Online?
In order to graduate. And, like, I remember the post was like, you're looking at this sculpture and everybody's like, oh, the lines and the structure and tempo and whatever. And I'm like, reading this and I'm like, and then I look at the picture and I'm like, dude, I don't fucking know what the fuck you guys are talking about.
It's because you're a realist like me.
I'm like, it's like, what the fuck? Like, what does that even mean? Like, it just stands out. And this is like, I'm like,
you're like, kind of doesn't.
It looks like a fucking rock to me.
Okay. Let's get into that subject just a little bit about art.
Again?
We've got into this before.
No,
yes.
We're not doing this. Come on.
No, just real quick.
No, come on.
I'm just going to ask you the question. Have you ever seen a piece of art that actually moved you in any way?
No.
Like where you've looked at it and felt a certain way?
No, I'm pretty sure I've looked at a lot of art and then I just look at it and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And that's it. But
and that's it?
Yeah, that's
like
it.
You don't look at like you don't look at like the Sistine Chapel. Like you don't look at pictures of that and think that is incredible, or you feel like emotional in any way?
No, because it's just a fucking picture to me. I've never been
exactly.
there. If
Exactly.
I mean, granted, maybe it's different if you actually go there and look up, and then you go like, man, like, was it Michelangelo?
Yeah.
Because he ended up with like fucked up discs in his fucking neck muscles of like just looking up and painting. And you'd be like, man, like fuck that guy, like you know, fuck or no, not,
Well, there's
not
some
fuck
things
that guy,
that I
but
find.
like fuck doing that, like just to prove a point.
Well, there's some of them that I'll look at and I'll be really impressed.
You do know
like,
that, right? The Sistine
yes,
Chapel?
I do.
He did
Yeah.
it to prove a fucking point, and it's like, dude, that like you wanted to be right, cost you your fucking back, essentially. Yeah. Like,
Isn't that true of all men with their women?
Maybe. Like, you're a fucking moron.
Aren't we all? In some way.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of drunk, I was gonna ask you, like, I know what your drunk tendencies are.
I don't know what my drunk tendencies are.
You don't know what your drunk tendencies are?
No.
Okay.
I don't have drunk. I don't even drink, Lonnie. What are you talking about?
Okay, we'll go back to younger Zumi and what I remember. Younger Zumi when he drank. Now, all the alcohol allergies and stuff like that aside, Zumi would get really quiet. When he first started getting a buzz, Zumi would be really quiet and he'd sit in a corner.
I was sitting in a corner. What the fuck are you talking about?
And
that's not how I remember it.
Okay, this is how I remember it. Zumi would sit and be quiet, and he wouldn't say a whole lot. But then, if you convinced Zumi to keep drinking, he became like the life of the party. He'd he would actually like be talking to people, and he'd want to play games and stuff, or Guitar Hero. You remember that shit?
I remember Guitar Hero. I remember.
Now, we did have some friends that had some odd drunk tendencies. You know, one being A-Train. You know, the Alvin. I know that eventually one day he'll listen to this. Alvin got weird.
That's an understatement. Like, I don't know.
Like,
we're really
okay,
there's people that really gonna talk trash about him. Like,
and I'm not going to talk trash about him at all. I'm going to say that there's some people in this world that get friendly when they drink. And then there's some people that just break down when they get drink. And I think Alvin broke down.
No, but his was more like, the best way I can explain it is in our group, he was a fucking drama queen. He was a chick.
Yeah.
He's a chick. He would drink and then all of a sudden he'd be like, oh. And he'd always do this thing when he would like pinch his eyes. Or like,
oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Like he would always like pinch his eyes. Like, you're right. She left me. Oh, I can't believe I'm so alone.
You know, he used to piss me off because he's like one of the better looking guys in our group, right? You know, big, tall, muscular Asian dude, right?
Yeah, like, not like just fucking like, I mean, this guy was fucking shredded, dude. Like, six pack. Like, I was like, dude, if I can have half of what, like, the most...
Anyway, he's a good-looking guy. Did he ever go home with the good-looking girl?
No. You know, let's get like the homeliest fucking chick ever.
He get the pixie. Like the fifth wheel at a bachelorette party.
Oh no, man! But I have feelings. I'm in love with her. Yeah.
Like, oh my God!
Shut the fuck up, dude! Like, you want to talk about a fucking beta male?
Beta male.
Jesus.
Dude, all he needed was a few lessons on how much he needs to drink in order to stay sober enough.
You know what? He needs to go to fucking Sir Jag and be tied up.
Probably.
And fucking
oh my gosh.
Have somebody abuse the fucking living shit out of him until he just like snaps out of it and be like, all right, I'm going to be a man now.
Well, that was the weird thing about our group of friends is we had such polarizing differences in our friend, like all of our friends.
Well, most of
like you had you and I.
Most of them were conservatives, though.
Yeah, but but what I mean is like, well, Alvin's not conservative.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
but we had you and I. Like I was, like kind of like the loudmouth, like kind of a show off. Even though I had nothing to show off.
Like,
And then, but I always hosted everything. What the fuck? Like I was always like everybody was always coming over to my place.
well,
What was that about?
you were the leader of the group, I guess. I don't know.
No. If anybody was the leader, you were the silent leader, Zumi.
Yeah, that's different than being the leader, though.
So you're the real leader.
No,
I was just your mouthpiece.
you're the mouthpiece. That's fine.
And don't make that sexual. So
Too
you were
late.
Zumi was the one that
No, see,
you got screwed a lot when we were in the Air
I
Force.
did get screwed a lot.
And you got abused a lot, like when it came to any type of friendship with like certain people. And you're just such a nice guy. I mean,
No, not anymore, fuck, though.
No.
Like, not anymore.
no, and I will say that I might have taken advantage of you every now and then, but not on purpose. Not on purpose. You're just such a nice guy. It's hard not to. But
You dick.
but Zumi was really, seriously, you were the leader of our group in many, many ways. And then you had Alvin, of course, who was, like you say, the drama queen. You know, like Alvin was always doing something. Like he was always out somewhere or he was on his computer.
Yeah.
And getting in trouble for something at the squadron.
Yeah, stupid shit.
And-
too.
Yeah, stupid stuff. And then you had James, little Jimmy. Jimmy was an odd addition to the group. You know, like just because, like he was nothing like us. Like at all. I mean, James had like, I thought I was intelligent. James knew everything about everything. And he never talked.
Yeah, he's a fucking rocket science guy, dude. Like,
Okay, yeah. Jimmy's really, really intelligent, and he hardly ever spoke. And when he did, it was always in a sarcastic tone. Like he couldn't be bothered with these mere mortals. But when he did talk, you listen. Because he had something to say. But that was something that happened when Jimmy started drinking. He would talk a lot. And he would get kind of emotional, but not like really bad, but like a little bit. And he would tell you all kinds of crazy shit about his uncle or his dad, and or about how his relationship with his father was absolute shit. And like you were having your own personal therapy session with Jimmy whenever he would drink. But it wasn't in a bad way, like he would just open up.
yeah, no, it was fun. Like, I really enjoyed talking to Jimmy.
Now,
Which I
do you remember when he went on a date with Christelle's friend Angela? The whore?
I do not remember this.
You don't remember this?
I don't.
Because I fucking remember this.
But I don't think calling a girl whore in the podcast is nice.
She's a whore.
She's a whore.
She's a whore. Well,
It's like, well, do you still talk to this person?
No.
Okay.
No, this person's been cut off.
That makes sense, I guess.
Anyway. So yeah, he went on.
Why didn't
like,
you
I don't know how they got.
Well, hold on. Like, why didn't you send her to me though? Like, I was like always trying to get laid back then.
You didn't, Zumi. You don't want none of this. Seriously.
Just like fucking 3 rubbers or something.
I love you too much. I love you too much. I didn't even know that it was happening until like later on, like after the date had happened.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the whoring.
Well, there was the time, and I think we were at your apartment when I asked Jimmy about it. I'm pretty sure we were at your apartment and out here in Spokane. And I asked him about it. I'm like, how did your date go? I already knew how it went because I know Jimmy, and I know that there was no way he had a good time with this woman.
So it'd be like,
and
no chemistry.
I asked him, like, so how did it go? And he's like, I'm never doing that again. I'm like, all right. I'm like, did it go well? He's like, she has got some problems. And that was it. That was all he said. And then I remember Angela asking about him. And I'm like, I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
Like, you guys want to talk or whatever. But
James probably did something well. And
rude.
That, no. He let her talk. Or do most
That's a bad move.
Do most of the talking. No, that's a good thing. Like when you're first dating, like if the girl does most of the talking, like they'll, especially if it's like something good. Well, okay. Let me explain this. Like when you have like this really, really good rapport with somebody, right? And you let them do most of the talking, and it's positive things, then they'll associate you with those positive feelings, right? So they'll
but this.
no, hold on. They'll tend to, once they see you'll tend to light them up and be like, oh, like it's this guy, right? However, if they do most of the talking and it's about their issues and problems and stuff about their past, shit that hasn't worked in the past, the more they talk, the more they associate you with the solution.
With those problems?
No, with the solution.
Oh, yeah.
So
you don't want none of that.
So that's why she probably asked for him or about him.
Yeah, and this girl.
He's my knight in shining armor.
This girl had some problems. I'm not going to get into it too much, but Jimmy was an interesting addition.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is, shame on you for not sending me, a whore.
Dude, I respected you too much, and like I said, I had no idea it was happening until after it was done. Because if I would have known, I wouldn't have let him do it.
Yeah, but I remember her having big tits, though, and that would have been enough.
Yeah, but dude, she was. I'm not gonna verbally bash her.
You know what? I'm gonna look her up on Facebook right now.
Okay, but
I'm not doing that.
But yeah, Jimmy was an interesting addition to our little group of friends, just because he was such a different type of person than what we usually hung out with. But then, of course, we tried to add a black guy. You remember that?
Yeah,
tried to add a black guy, but he was a little too black. Didn't not for us. Well, we would have loved to have him, but he just he didn't hang out with us. We talked
about this on another episode, and like like it's fucked up that you have your own black friend and I have like my own black friend right now.
Yeah, that's how it happens. But I got my quota.
It's like we don't have a black friend within the group,
like the inner circle.
Yeah, like somebody that knows me and knows you.
So anybody out there that is of the African descent, if you'd like to be a friend, we have applications being sent out. Question number 1 is, have you seen the Big Lebowski? If you haven't, need not apply.
And but I don't know.
I mean, we had that. We've had a couple other people come in and then leave. We've had some busts, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And in the spirit of the season, I will say they were draft busts. You thought they were first rounders. They ended up being undrafted rookies.
Oh,
but,
man.
Had a few of those.
It's kind of funny. Like it's so true when they say, though, like if you can count your friends in, ditches of your hand, then you're a very fucking fortunate fella.
Yeah, it's when you start saying like, "Oh, I have like thousands of friends on
It's
Facebook," and it's like you don't have any friends.
Well, this is I like this definition of friends. Like this came from John Laval. If you don't know who John Laval is, look him up. He's like a sales trainer, like one of the top sales trainer out there.
Okay.
So John Laval says, like, this is the difference. A friend will help you move. A real friend will help you move bodies.
Yeah. And it's a little cryptic, but if you've ever had a real friend, you understand the depth of that statement.
Yeah. Well, it's like James. Like James, like Jimmy lent me some money, and like he didn't ask any questions. He didn't ask for the money back.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I paid him like every single penny, right? And
yeah.
But he didn't ask what I was gonna use the money for or anything. He actually said, "Is that gonna be enough? Like the amount that I gave him."
Did that make you want to cry at that moment?
Yeah, dude. Like I fucking, it's like one of those guys that I just like. I appreciate so much that, if you were to call me right now and say like, dude, I'm like fucking homeless, it's just like, come live with me. Like you don't even have to, you don't have to pay rent. It's fine. Like,
Yeah.
like just. Like,
And that's the whole thing is like I haven't spoken to him in years, right? But that's the whole thing. Like if he called you and needed help,
yeah,
he's one of those guys. It's like you're friends no matter what.
yep, I'm there.
You know, but and dude, that's hard to find.
It is really hard.
And I think we were pretty fortunate that because we were in the Air Force and we did have some, circumstances that kind of put us in a situation where we were able to find those type of people. But there even then, like with the camaraderie that you might have with people in the military, friendship is still really rare.
Yeah. Can I make a confession here?
I know you're gay for me. It's okay.
No. I can say the word comrade, but I can't say that word.
Camaraderie?
Yeah, I struggle with that word. It's like I couldn't say inevitable for the longest time.
Oh, like you physically can't say camaraderie?
Yeah, I can't say it. I can say comrade. What? See,
You're still Mexican at heart?
yeah, like
Camaraderie.
like I'm gonna try like say comrade, camaraderie.
Camaraderie.
Camaraderie. I can't fucking say it, dude. Do you have a word that you just can't say?
No, Zumi, I'm pretty fluent. I'm pretty much genius, so
Yeah.
It's really difficult.
Like
I
my
do
dad,
have a very large vocabulary.
my dad cannot say what's it called? Tortilla chips in Spanish, like totopos. He cannot say that. He's always like,
Well, in his defense, he's Japanese.
he's like the
so-
totopos, but he doesn't speak a fucking word of Japanese. It's all English.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I think it has something to do with your physicality, like your physical makeup. Like, oh gosh, my dad. Okay, my dad can't say the word wash.
Wash?
Yeah, he can't say wash.
What did
Now
he say?
you've heard people say worsh before, right?
Yeah, worse. Yeah.
You hear it all the time.
Well, it's like cement.
But
and,
my dad
like some people
physically
say,
cannot say wash.
like some people say like their exes.
Yeah.
They'll say like S and S, right? So instead of ecstasy, they'll say like ecstasies.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
but when you ask them, like they'll honestly look at you and say like, I hear myself saying it just like you're saying it.
Yeah.
So-
Well, that's like my dad. My dad always comes up with like extended versions of words. I've heard people say my name before, like my last name, and they'll extend it out. Like they'll try to make it longer than what it really is. It's like, dude, it's pretty simple. It's 4 letters. And it's,
Lonnie Massachusetts.
I've heard mastices, or it's like, dude, it's real simple. I mean, what is it, 2 syllables?
Well, I mean, to their defense, it could be mass, or they could be like, maybe it's a fancy or a strong A. It could be mossed.
But it's just silly to me, But I was going to tell you that. Well, I guess we could get into the because I wanted to know about your Guam story. This is something that's been up on the set list for a little while.
Okay.
But before we do that, I really, really need to pee. So
We're not even at an hour mark, are we?
yeah, well, we're at 58 and 30.
All right, fine, go pee. Like, I can't believe you fucking pee. Like, I've just drank a full Arnold Palmer, and
Dude, I had a beer, and beer goes straight through me. In fact, I think I'm gonna have another. Make this podcast interesting.
I know, right? Okay, we'll see you in like half a second, people. I guess. And we're back.
We are back. Okay, so anyway, yeah, you got to tell me about this Guam story. You got to do your at least like once an episode monologue. So
my once an episode monologue.
Yeah.
I actually have a couple of
Oh boy.
Guam stories. Well, because they're like in like sections, right?
I guess I don't know.
Well, Guam is one of those places where it's the closest to TJ. In the sense that you can find hookers, you can find
Chiclets.
like I was gonna say the nightlife that's just like fucking dirty,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So
I hear you, bro.
so uh Guam was one of those things where it was like one of my first trips too, like going to Guam and being underage, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's no drinking age here. You can actually drink. You can have beers, right?
Yep.
So, like I started, or we started, and by we I mean like the pilots and myself. We went downstairs in a hotel. We had this was like an overnight thing, and then winds kick in, and something in the fucking jet just breaks.
Awesome.
So it was windy as fuck. We couldn't take off, right? And we're like, oh, we'll just wait it out. It's just about 2 hours, and then all of a sudden something like breaks, and it breaks to it broke. The jet broke for like 10 days because
Oh, dude, you got 10 days in Guam?
yes, because the part that was needed, the closest one was in the East Coast, like
Oh my
way
god.
the fuck down in Florida. So they had to like send it to Riverside, and from Riverside they were gonna like take it to Guam. And then the part that they brought in didn't work, so they had to like redo the whole thing again.
Oh my gosh.
So it was Guam was amazing, right?
Yeah. And then you don't have any work.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, are you actually going into the squadron at all?
No. We're on TDY status. You're out there just drinking, so and that's something that you find out. Like Guam is really it's a really small island. Like you can go you can go around it in what is it, like an hour?
Yeah.
Right? Like full speed, like 70 miles an
Yeah,
hour.
if you're going like 65, 70 miles an hour, you can go around the island in about an hour and 15.
Yeah, so we like just did a lot of sightseeing and but anyways, like almost every fucking night, like we were going out and hitting up the strip clubs and all that stuff. And there's this one particular day where like my allergies were not an issue. I drank from like we started drinking at like 10 in the morning. So I bought a 6-pack of Coronas and saying like, you know, I'm gonna drink, like fuck this shit, like I'm gonna drink, you know? And my pilots, like they were like, oh, it's too early to be drinking and stuff, and
Like, fuck you.
they were like, dude, give me the beers that you just left, and I fucking like literally I took beers from them, and I drank all fucking day, all fucking night, right? But anyway, we had breaks in between, so we went to lunch. I was drunk, and got out, started drinking again. I remember we went to GameWorks.
Yeah.
And I beat the shit out of him in air hockey.
At least you think you did.
No, I did. They were fucking pissed. I was like, this guy's fucking drunk and he's like beating us and stuff. And then all of a sudden, like it's just blackout. The next thing I remember is I'm at Club USA, and somebody is hitting me with my belt, like hard.
What the fuck?
Like really, really hard. And then blackout, come out of the bathroom with like the taste of vomit. So I guess I puked at Club USA. And then all of a sudden there's like, I see like, oh, like we're leaving right now. And it's like, okay, the next thing I remember is Vikings, which is another strip club. And in Vikings, like I don't mean to brag here, but I got a happy ending without having to like
disgusting, Jimmy.
without having to like pay for anything, right? And
you did, you just don't remember it.
oh yeah, maybe no, like hold on, like let me finish the story. This is why I know I didn't pay for it. So anyways, I got a happy ending, and then all of a sudden, like I remember, there's like like around the strip clubs and all that stuff. There's like slingshot ride that they have there. Do you remember?
What do you mean a slingshot?
You don't remember that? They put you like in a. It's like two poles, and they're tied up to like a ball looking thing.
Oh, you mean the thing that's like right out near the water?
Yeah, and it slingshots you up, and then you're just
yeah, I've never done it.
And you just like slingshot up and down, and it's like
yeah, they have them
like,
in malls and stuff now.
It's like a Guam thing though. Like you have to be drunk. You go into the slingshot ride and just like they just shoot you up, and you're like, what? Right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, I remember I got my happy ending. I got out, really, really happy. All of a sudden, I'm standing in front of the slingshot, just looking up, and then I remember walking, and then the next day I'm in my hotel room, not wearing any pants. can't find my wallet. And I'm like, whoa, like what the fuck, you know? So the first thing I did was I checked my bank account online. And I was just missing, you know, like $150 that I remember taking out. And my wallet was outside, like close to my door. So I don't know.
So did someone like drop it off?
I don't know. Like I don't know if I like when I took the key card, if I just like dropped it like outside of my door. But I'm very fortunate nobody took it, right?
Yeah.
And
especially in Guam.
But anyways, like I come out, and then all the punks is like, "What the fuck happened to you?" And I'm like, I don't know. Like I remember I was.
I was hoping you could tell me.
Like, weren't we partying and Viking? And he's like, "No, dude. Like you came out and you just left." And then all of a sudden, like we just didn't see you. And I'm like, "What the fuck?" I remember I stayed. And then also like my parents was like, "So yeah, we saw you. Like you were just like in the corner with this one chick." And then they're like, "Did you give you a happy ending?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like, no fucking way. And I'm like, no, yeah. It's like, dude, like I spent like $400, like just to have like my dick grind on, and you got a happy
like, yeah,
ending.
that's where your problem is, man. You got to talk to him.
It's like, man, like I don't know. When you got it, you got it. But
oh my god.
So that's one Guam story that I have.
Should we save these for like a series like Zumi's Guam stories?
Well, that's probably the best one though, like because of the happy ending, it was just like so worth it. But like I said, like it was. I've never like every time we've drank Lonnie, like I usually stop, right? Like
yes,
like
yeah.
after I puke, I stop, and I remember everything. I've never like actually like blacked out.
Oh, you sweet summer child!
And
on blacked out so much
on these ones. Like I said, like there's gaps. I don't know how I got home. I don't even know why my pants were down, or like I was not wearing any pants.
Well, that was that first time I went to Mildenhall. I had an issue with pants.
I don't know if this chick like came back with me or something. Like.
It's possible.
I just remember,
or a dude.
I remember like being in the like champagne room or whatever.
Yeah, they weren't really champagne rooms there.
Well, whatever, and
they were like booths.
And I was fucking. but like I said,
you're a disgusting human being, Zumi.
I know. Oh well, but that was like that was like dark Zumi. Like he no longer here, but. No longer exists.
Uh-huh.
But like I said, like I but it doesn't make any sense because I remember like I said, I remember looking at the slingshot, and then I like remember stumbling, but that's it. And then I just wake up and I'm like, okay, why am I not wearing any pants?
Well, I've told you the story, right? When like my first trip to Mildenhall, England, like it was the stop, right before you go to I think it was Kyrgyzstan was my first deployment. And we had gone drinking. Like we were at the Galaxy Club right?
Yeah,
Isn't that what it was called on base?
I remember the Galaxy Club.
So that's where we started drinking. And you've been with me long enough to know that, like, you know, during that time I had a pretty high tolerance for alcohol. And, like, you remember, because Alvin and I would stay up until, like, 4 o'clock in the morning still trying to get drunk. But I remember going into the bar, doing some drinking and stuff, taking some shots. And I don't remember the exact point that I blacked out. I know that there was a Hulk shot that happened, like, right before. And you know what a Hulk shot is, right?
Yeah.
It's the Hennessy and Hypnotic. It's disgusting. But, I mean, that's pretty much where I'm, like, everything just goes away. Well, I wake up the next day in my own bed, in my hotel room, and there's Post-it notes everywhere. Like put on random items in the room. And they're all notes from me to myself. Like, don't forget the flight lunches. Or, you know, I mean, don't forget your wallet. Do this, do that. There's just tons of them everywhere. But the weirdest part is that I'm clothed, you know, like I have underwear on, but I look down on the floor and there's a pile of the clothes that I was wearing that night, like the night before when I was drinking, and they're soaking wet. Like, soaking wet. And I go and I'm either that or it's something like that, or I had the wet underwear on or something like that. Anyway, but I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, why the fuck are my clothes soaked? Did I jump in a pool or something last night? And I had figured it out because I would walk to the bathroom to go take my morning piss, and there's, like, you know, little driblets of water like walking out from there. I had taken a shower in my clothes. So, but
You probably were like, I'm too drunk. Oh, cold water. Psst, which doesn't work, by the way.
No, well, you do get, I don't know if you're like me, like when you're getting pretty hammered, you're not necessarily blackout drunk, but you get to that point, at least I do, you get to that point where you can kind of see what's happening, like pretty cognizant of, like, what you're actually doing. Like, you can see everything as it's happening. You can make those mental judgments, you know, but physically you can't make those actions. Like, you can't actually, like, make good decisions. You can see everything in your mind. You know what you want to say. You know what you're supposed to do. But when you speak, you sound like a moron.
All that comes out is
Yeah. It's like you want to say, like, I need to go back to my hotel room because I have to wake up at 6:30 in the morning. And instead you say, give me another fucking shot. You know, but it's that was the first time. But that was that time that the pilots had asked me, like, you know, dude, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling okay. I'm a little hungover, but not so bad. They're like, dude, you were, like, pounding Three Wise Men last night. You know, like, if for listeners that don't know what a Three Wise Men is, Three Wise Men is a combination of 3 shots, and it's a full shot of each of Johnny, Jack, and Jim, all whiskey. And they put those in a lowball glass, and you just shoot it. And I was like, no, you know, like, I don't do shots like that, you know, like, and they're like, okay, so they show me the Polaroid. And it's a picture of me, like, you know, with a line of fucking Three Wise Men, and apparently I had pounded them all.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So you did 3.
Good times,
you did
right?
3 in a row?
No, dude, there wasn't just 3. There was a few. I mean, there was like 6.
Jesus.
Yeah. Bad choices.
I'm like, you know, like all the stupid shit that we've done. Like, I'm surprised we didn't die like of alcohol poisoning.
Oh, dude,
Well,
I
mean,
still
I
can't
almost
figure
died,
out how
right?
I didn't die that night.
But,
Because I when I woke up, I didn't have that bad of a hangover. Like, I had, like, a slight headache, but it was, like, mostly like the headache that you get when you're starting to get dehydrated. That's the type of headache that I had. And, like, a little sensitivity to light.
right.
And that was it. You know, like, I had some water and I took a couple of Advil and I was fine. You know, But Zumi, if you tried that, you would have died.
I probably would have died.
My God.
I would have, like, if there's nobody there to, like, pump my stomach with, like, charcoal and shit.
Like you're a champion at mudslide shots, right?
Fuck, man.
No. But we had good times. I mean, there was a lot of stuff in the military. Like we had said before we started recording, is that we keep on putting this up there, and we never actually talk about it as our water survival, POW training, basic training stories.
Yeah.
You know, because apparently people love this shit.
And apparently,
I don't know why.
And we won't. We won't tonight.
But
So you keep
the one.
on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we could do that. Be like,
Reel
we
it
were
in.
going to talk
Just
about it.
Reel them in. Just like send the bait. Next week. Tell your friends.
When you did water survival, yours was probably the exact same as mine.
Yeah.
You know, like you go to Pensacola, and you know, it kind of started out with class, right? Like you sat in the classroom, in that upstairs classroom.
Yeah.
I don't remember all the names of the buildings or anything, but I do remember their naval exchange, like their equivalent to the BX, was fucking amazing. Like they had a whole clothing section, you know, like that was really cool. Did you ever go to it?
I don't recall.
I mean, like
I recall going to the small one because it wasn't very memorable.
Yeah, well, the naval exchanges on any naval base are usually a lot better than a BX, and I don't know why.
More money,
but maybe Top Gun money. But they had that flat boat. Well, they had the boat, and they had like the flat area where the you know, like everybody was standing, and they would hook you up to the parasail. You remember this shit? And they were telling you, like, you know, don't pull on the what were those? Like, they were like handles, like right in front of your chest.
Yeah,
and they're telling you not to pull those ones because that's, oh no, you pull those ones. You don't pull the rings on your parachute vest, because if you pull the rings, you're getting released from your parachute vest. So like when you're parasailing, they want you to pull on the rods, not the rings. And they kept on re-emphasizing that because you're going to be like, you know, like what, like 100 feet in the air?
Yeah.
And there was a guy, I remember him getting, like, they pull him, you know, like they have the boat go, and he's going up in the air, and they have a big loudspeaker that they yell at you, and they, you know, tell you to release, you know, and basically what it's supposed to happen is you release the line from the boat.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And then you just kind of float down.
Right. Yeah.
And then you have to release, after you hit the water, you know, you release from your vest, and then they recover you. They put you back in another boat. And it's just kind of like to learn how to do a water landing underneath a parachute, right?
Right.
Well, this kid, they pull him up. He's up there. He's doing great. Just kind of floating around for a little while. They yell at him to release. And instead of pulling the rods to release from the boat, this dude pulled the rings.
No way.
Even though he'd been told like 5 times not to pull the rings. And he dropped like over 100 feet right into the water. And he was fine, but you could hear it, dude. We were all on this big ass boat with the motors running, and you hear whap. I'm like, oh my God. And this dude, like, it took a while for him to actually surface. It was a good 20 seconds because he shot down into the water. And he comes up, and you can see him like gasping for air and stuff. Worst belly flop ever, man. Because he was flailing on the way down. It was like, and you knew exactly because you see him pull, and he was probably maybe like 100 yards from us when he did it. He pulled from it, and then you just see his body just falling out of the sky. Like, oh shit. But good times.
Dude.
Did you have anybody crazy in your water survival class?
No.
Oh, you poor thing. Those are good times.
Not like that crazy. That's fucking insane, dude.
And it was fucking hilarious.
Guy could have died, though.
Oh, no. He'll be just fine. You just clench your butt cheeks. You'll be all right.
Fucking moron, dude.
Hey, it happens.
Did he pass?
I'm sure it's not the first time. I don't remember. I think he did. I think it was one of those things where they made him go again after he recovered himself.
And after he got scared, got the fear of drowning, and then got his butt chewed by a colonel, probably.
Yeah. After he got done shitting a gallon of water out of his colon.
Oh man. No, my water survival was pretty uneventful. I did have a couple of people I don't know what the word would be like. They were just being assholes towards me because of my name.
Imaizumi.
Yeah. No, because everybody called me Zumi, and this guy took offense.
Oh, is it one of those guys that you're not a Zumi till you're flying?
No, you're not a Zumi because you didn't go to the Air Force Academy.
Oh my god, so annoying.
And I was like, bro, it's my last name. What the fuck? Back off. But no,
you need to call me Jets.
This guy was really offended. Well, did you go to the Air Force Academy? The only Zimis I know go to the Air Force Academy. I don't see you're an officer.
You're like, dude, this isn't basic training. You don't need to be an asshole.
I'm dude, I'm not fucking. Just fucking put my parachute on and be done with it.
Oh, that training! I think it was water survival. They did the training where you're just kind of hanging in the harness for an hour while they show you how to adjust everything. And I didn't like that part. That part I kind of fell asleep in, but the rest of it was okay. The part where they just abandon you with your own little raft for 3 hours out in the middle of the ocean.
3 hours.
That part I wasn't too keen on. Dude.
I don't remember it being that long.
I do. I remember them telling us specifically, don't pee in the water.
Sharks?
Unless you're in the raft.
Sharks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember doing that, but it was really uneventful. It's they picked us up fairly quick. I was no, let me try and do all of the stuff that
Well, yeah, they gave us the raft, right? And they wanted you to practice inflating it, manually, with the little hose.
Right.
And they didn't leave you out there with a completely deflated raft. But they did, they wanted you to learn how to do it. So if you did, have to eject or, egress in water, that you would know how to inflate the raft, and that you'd know how to get in, which is pretty simple. I mean, what was it, that pull move?
Yeah.
And then they just kind of left you there, but like I said, mine had to have been at least 2 hours. And I was just kind of wading out there. I took a nap, but yeah, water survival was fun. Survival was kind of fun. POW training, not so much.
Yeah, that wasn't fun at all.
No. Did you cry? I did.
I did. I cried.
Didn't everybody?
Probably. I was too focused on myself, though. Oh, but
I was pretty tired at that point.
You know what happened on mine, though? After we were done, you're all, you know how you're, all sweaty and fucking just, if, you're beat down, you're tired, you're fucking hungry, really, really hungry.
Yeah, because you haven't eaten in a while.
And this is the only time I'll say that. I'll say this. I fucking hated George Bush that day. Because the motherfucker decided to show up at Fairchild and they put the base on lockdown. So
that's right. You told me this story.
So I couldn't get my Domino's pizza. I couldn't get any food for
Dude, that's the first thing that John Adams and I ordered. Because we were in the same hotel room out there at Fairchild in the little annex,
Yeah.
And when we got back from POW training, man, we got in the room and he was on the phone before I could even say order a pizza.
This is the only time you would hear me say that I hated Bush because of that.
Because that motherfucker decided to show his face.
Closed down the base. Couldn't get my Domino's pizza in. Fucking hungry as fuck. I do remember though, like taking a shower after doing that training, and it was just like
pound of dirt.
Like I for the most part I thought I kept pretty clean. Like there's like just chunks of dirt like up my butthole.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, like in the taint.
You're like, what the fuck did you come on?
Oh yeah. Well, survival wasn't so bad. Survival was just difficult because like, it was uncomfortable. That was pretty much it. And we had that poor girl. I've told you that story before. The girl that was in our group that thought that the rabbit was a pet.
Oh.
And then the instructor made her kill the rabbit so we could eat it. And the thing woke up mid-skinning.
Oh, shit.
Should I tell that again? I don't know if I've told that on the podcast.
You told it. Like I think I told mine though. Like mine was
Which one's that?
Well, when they killed the bunny, there was just like it just cried, and then they swung at it again. But I mean,
it's fucked up though, isn't it?
It is pretty fucked up.
Well, it's like anytime that I don't know what it is about head injuries. Like if it doesn't like follow through and whatever it is doesn't die. Head injuries are just so traumatic to watch. But anyway, not gonna get into that. I'll depress myself. But we had one girl in our group, and I think she was a senior airman, and I don't remember her name. I wouldn't say it anyway if I did. Each group was given a rabbit. And of course, all the guys know what that rabbit is for, right? I mean, it's pretty hard to not know what that rabbit is for when you're in survival training.
Yeah.
And we're out there in the middle of the woods. This girl's like feeding the thing. She's petting it. She's acting like it's, like her own personal like team mascot. And the day comes, and we didn't say anything because we just didn't want to tell her. It's like, how do you tell her? It's like, don't keep petting that thing. You're gonna have to fucking eat its eyeballs. But we're doing our thing, and the instructor comes out and he's like, grab the rabbit. We're like, all right, we're gonna eat. I was all excited. He gotten the pot out to make some soup and stuff, and so the girl, who this pet rabbit belongs to, apparently, she goes and grabs the rabbit, and he's like, all right, you're gonna do it, because he had seen her this whole time. Like, she's the one that's getting attached to this thing, so it might as well be her. And she's like, what do you mean? She's like naive. She's like, I don't know what's happening. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you're gonna kill the rabbit. We're gonna eat. She's like, I'm not gonna kill the rabbit. And he's like, you're gonna kill the rabbit. That's why we brought the fucking rabbit. So she's crying at this point, and because now she kind of realizes how stupid she was being. And so they hang up the rabbit by its hind feet, and he's like, all right, just take the stick and hit it as hard as you can, like right below the bottom of the head, like right there on the back of the neck. Severed the medulla oblongata, right? So she hits the thing, and she whacks it really hard. At least we thought so. So the instructor, he just grabs his knife and he starts wringing the ankles and starts pulling the skin down. He gets to about like right below the chest of this thing, and that fucking rabbit woke up. Dude. And it started doing. I don't know if you've heard a rabbit scream.
No, I have heard a rabbit scream. It sounds like a baby crying.
Yeah, it sounds like a kid. Sounds like a really tiny infant or a toddler. And this thing's like flipping around and stuff, and there's blood, and it's really bad. So the instructor like immediately takes the stick out of her hand and just whacks it as hard as he can, and then blood just comes out the nose, and it's dead now. But that poor girl, I mean, we're all, like the dudes, it's not comfortable hearing a rabbit scream as a guy,
yeah,
but we're trying to man up, and this poor girl is just gone. She's like curling up in a corner, and then he's like, all right, well, muscles are going to be a little tense on this one. Like, oh my God. Can you imagine waking up and being skinned? Oh my God.
No, that's pretty fucking morbid. So I made a big mistake yesterday.
Did you use the left hand?
Not yesterday, 2 days ago. Westview is almost over. I have 1 week left. So I'll be done. Cinco de Mayo is my last day.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, at least with my JV, varsity still has CIF right afterward, like playoffs.
Yeah.
But some of the kids are already like slacking or like doing something else, and so I had 10 players show up on Thursday.
Oh, those motherfuckers.
Well, some of them asked for permission. Others were just like, "Oh, I gotta leave early." It's like, dude. But anyways,
You don't learn anything about teamwork.
That they don't. So anyways, like I had 10 players. I had my assistant. And there's like, well, let's just do 6-on-6 and we'll have coach playing. So like, fucking kid called me out, dude.
And did it hurt?
It fucking hurt. I played. My muscles were they're still sore today. But so Friday I'm like, oh, like I fucking regret this decision, right? I regret playing because not only did I play well, I did it in like wearing slacks and
oh, you're such a dick.
Polo shirt. So and then today I took my kids to the zoo, the San Diego Zoo. And,
oh, so you walked?
Yeah, and I haven't been to the zoo since I was like a kid.
Oh, so you remember it being easy?
I don't remember fucking slopes being almost like 90 with a 90-degree incline. Dude.
Oh yeah, like the San Diego Zoo. Oh yeah, I remember that, and I was a kid the last time I was there.
Legs are on fire right now. Oh my god.
You've become a father,
dude. And this whole entire time, I'm pushing a stroller, and my wife is just like, wait a second, you gotta rest. And I'm
fuck that, you push the stroller.
And I'm like, no, well, she had a stroller of herself too, of her own.
Oh, that's right, because you got 3.
The toddler. So the toddler, I had him in the stroller, and he would just like get up and do the stuff, and then I'll be like, "Hey, come back in," and he would just like sit down, but I'm still pushing a fucking stroller, you know, and I'm thinking like, man, like this fucking sucks. Like I thought I was gonna recuperate this weekend. Honestly, I don't remember it being that.
Dude, you're not 19 anymore.
I don't remember it being that hard, dude. And there's just some slopes that you're just like, I shouldn't have.
Well, yeah, they have different levels in that place.
Yeah.
I mean, did you go to the reptile exhibit?
We did everything except the big monkeys.
Okay. The reptile exhibit is my favorite place there.
Yeah,
because they got some cool shit.
Yeah, my son enjoyed that one. It's like he liked the crocodiles and the ginormous turtles that they have there.
Oh, you mean the tortoises?
Yeah. Tortoises. Yeah. Galapagos one. Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are fucking huge.
Yes.
Fucking
they're old.
Huge.
Damn.
And but yeah, and we got to see the panda bear came out.
Oh, that's right. They allowed one of the didn't China offer up one of those?
Yep.
Because it was this huge thing for such a long time that China had the only pandas in captivity, and they were trying to breed them and stuff to save the species.
Yep. And
now they have too many of them. So...
Yeah. Well, they all of a sudden they appeared.
Yeah.
There's just this fucking secret breeding ground, and also oh, we do have pandas.
Oh shit, we got thousands of these motherfuckers. And yeah, give America one.
It's like deer.
That's fine.
You know, remember with deer, they were oh, deer is an endangered species now. We gotta stop hunting.
They don't let us shoot them.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they're fucking elk is everywhere.
Okay, everybody needs to go kill a deer.
Venison's back in the menu.
I love venison. Have you ever had it?
I have, yeah.
Oh, dude, so good.
Oh,
There's not much that comes close to venison. Like a good deer meat.
Yeah.
Or elk.
Yeah.
Elk is good. I think it's still considered venison, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. Like elk and caribou and all that.
But
you ever had buffalo?
I had buffalo. I had a buffalo burger in Alaska.
Pretty good.
I was not impressed.
Or greasy as shit.
No, I was not impressed. I did not enjoy that.
Okay.
It's one.
You ever had bear?
It's one meat that I'm not eating again. Buffalo meat. No, sorry.
Buffalo meat tastes like it. When you think of buffalo, you think of like the plains, right?
It's pretty bland though.
Yeah, but I mean, when you think of buffalo, you think of it being out in the plains.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it tastes like. It tastes like earthy.
Yeah.
And
it's
just bleh.
I did not care for it. Like, I'm like, give me some stock, like any day.
I need some salt
and
some A1.
I don't care if it's like hormoned. If they pump like thousands of hormones in them, like give me a good Carl's Jr. like burger.
Jr.
I don't care.
Well, I was like I said. Have you ever had any bear?
No, bear. No.
Oh,
it's a nasty.
Dude, predator. It doesn't. There's just something really bad about eating predator.
I think there's something bad about eating an animal that eats animals, right?
There has to be, because bear is super stringy and greasy. I mean like you say, they eat meat, so it's like when you eat like a deer, it's they eat plants. So what, like their meat tastes pretty, like basic. Yeah. Like it's a good meat. There's nothing. How do I describe this? It's like when you eat a predator that's already eaten something, like eaten an animal, it's like you get a mix of flavors, like gamey. That's basically what gamey is.
Yeah.
It's just really nasty. That I've had mountain lion. And that shit is not good. Yes.
Oh, by the way, like I saw the lion that they have there. The fucking lion, dude, he looked like a pussy. He's like doing all this like cat shit where he's like licking his paw and like giving himself a bath.
Dude, lions do that. They're cats.
I know, but he's not supposed to look cute. He's supposed to look menacing.
Why don't you jump in there and then tell me if he's cute?
Well, I'm just saying, but
you're not willing to take that bet?
I'll tell you who did look like a fucking badass, like a fucking pimp, was the tiger.
Oh, the tigers are always badass.
Holy shit!
I don't know what the difference is. Like with tigers, they're always doing that stride, where they're just kind of looking at you.
Yeah.
Like, dude, come on in here.
Well, this one was.
I'm gonna show you something.
This one was just chilling right next to the glass area. Like he was leaning on the glass.
And he's like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, he's like decided he's like gonna take a nap, like right there. Yeah, he was badass. So, I told my wife like, you gotta. It's like, did you see him? And he's like, no, I can't. There's a lot of people like. The fucking tiger is like right next to the glass. He's like lying down right here. Like just
right
I'll wait for you. Just go take your picture. You got to see the tiger.
And they're a lot bigger than you'd think they are.
Yeah.
Huh?
She came back and was like, "Did you take the picture?" And she's like, "Yeah. Now I can like die peacefully." Because she like seriously like she's like just being that close to that fucking animal.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Dude.
Because like with tigers, well, even with lions and stuff, and any type of like large predatory cat, when you're close to them, you can see all the like sinewy muscles and stuff in their legs and in their shoulders and their back, and even in like the jawline. It's fucking scary.
Yeah.
Because like that if there was no glass,
oh yeah,
you're like there's nothing. Like there's no way to save you. I mean, like I've told you that story before, watching that video of those. I think you might have watched the video of the lion, the male lion, just like taking out. Was it cheetahs? Yes, it was cheetahs. Like normally male lions don't do any of the hunting. Like 99% of the time, it's the females.
Yeah. I saw that one. Yeah, that lion just fucks.
But there's just something. There's something that happened. Like they killed the cheetahs killed the cubs, the lion cubs. So the male lion, this big motherfucker, who you think, oh, male lions are pussies. They just lie around all day and they just eat whatever the females bring them. No. The male lions are actually pretty fast, despite how large they are. And they are really aggressive, especially if you kill one of their cubs.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, that one bite like over the head
that line
of the cheetah.
Fucks them up.
You hear the crack of bone and skull and damn.
Ooh. But and I don't know, like my kids had fun. They had a lot of fun. So that was
and you kind of had fun until today.
Yeah, that was. I mean, you know who I was impressed. The baby. The baby did not cry at all. He was just like, he would just sit there and watch, and we would just pull him in there and like seeing the grizzly bears and all that stuff, and he's just like watching, and then all of a sudden like we would stop and take a break, and he would start like crying, like
keep going, motherfucker,
like fucking move, He was.
We got shit to see.
He was our timer, and like the whole entire time he's like laughing and stuff and quiet, like no crying, nothing, dude. I was like surprised. I'm like, damn. And
then, kids are weird that way, especially at a young age.
And then the zoo is one of the last like places that actually allows you to bring food in. Yeah. And I didn't bring enough food.
What an ass.
I know. We ended up buying shit inside. Oh my fucking god.
Was it like $8 for a tiny little bottle of water?
It's well, not $8, but it's like $5 for a fucking soft drink or a water. So I ended up buying the souvenir ones, like the ones that they have in Six Flags, so you can just refill throughout the whole entire day. And it's still like I couldn't just buy one because my kids are gonna go crazy. Like, he has one, I need one. Yep. It ended up being like $40. I'm like, fucking hey, that's about half of what I paid for the fucking tickets,
Yep. Well, you know who I was impressed with is Disneyland lately. I thought that this last time that I went down there and you guys visited for that day, I thought that it was going to be really expensive to buy shit in the park.
Oh no, they're just places.
Dude, they went down, like
prices.
A lot. And I forget how much it was. Let me see if I can get Christelle to weigh in. Let's see. Oh gosh, what was it for a cup of soda? When we went to Disneyland, how much did it cost for like a large soda? It wasn't that much compared to what we thought it was going to be. It was like $5. No, like yes, but like the big drinks, right? But you could get those things refilled. Like $4.25. Yeah, and then like the churros were like what, $2?
I think so.
Yeah, yes, it's still expensive. I mean, it's still a lot more than what you're going to pay on the outside, but as compared to like other venues, like, a zoo or Six Flags is, I don't know where they get off in Six Flags. I mean, they're basically telling you, oh yeah, you go ahead and cut off your left nut and hand that to us, and we'll give you a small soda.
Yeah.
But their meals at Disneyland are really cheap too. I mean, you can get a decent sized meal for like, $12.
Yeah. And if you say it's your birthday on some of those, they'll give you like a free dessert and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
it's pretty cool. I like Disneyland.
Yeah. Did you see the news that Johnny Depp just showed up dressed up as fucking Jack Sparrow last weekend?
I saw the video. He's on the ride and but here's the thing. It's like, how many people were on that like portion of the ride like that day, and they didn't even notice that it was him? Because you know what happened, Zumi. You know that there was some jackass that saw like, dude, the animatronics are just fucking amazing now. Or like somebody would say like, oh, dude, that was really Johnny Depp. It's like, dude, that's not even Johnny Depp. It doesn't even look like Johnny Depp.
It's just an actor. It's just an actor. All right.
But yeah, I saw that. That was pretty cool.
I was like, you motherfucker. Why didn't you just...
Seriously, is that his favorite role?
Yeah, I know.
Because he dresses up as Jack Sparrow all the time. Like, he's going to hospitals all the time as Jack Sparrow. He's going to Disneyland, apparently, as Jack Sparrow.
I wonder what, maybe it's like one of those things where like they're promoting the movie. Because the movie should come out pretty soon, right?
Yeah, I think it's coming out soon, but it's... I mean,
that's why they're saying, like, oh, look at Johnny Depp. Like, his last 2 or 3 Pirates of the Caribbean movies suck, but he shows up at Disneyland. That's cool. Let's watch the other one and give him, like, millions of dollars more.
But here's how I feel about that. How many times do studios or agencies ask actors to do stuff like that, and they don't do it? Well, I mean, because Johnny Depp's a pretty busy dude.
Yeah, but, I mean, how much is he getting paid for this?
Yeah, but how much has he already made? That's the whole thing. It's like...
It doesn't matter. That fucking island's not going to, self-maintain.
By itself.
Yeah. No, he owns a fucking island. You know that, right?
Yes.
With an Air Force strip. That airplane's going to need fuel. You're going to need to pay your couple of Mexicans to, like, do all the gardening work. I mean, that's expensive.
Yeah, but what I'm asking you is, I'm asking you, like, how often do you actually see actors doing stuff like that?
Like, dress up?
Yeah, like, as promotion for a movie. Well, which I have no doubt that was what part of it was for.
I mean, not a lot.
They do interviews and stuff, but...
Not a whole lot, but I think there's a secret agenda behind it, and that is that Johnny Depp has been making like some shitty ass fucking movies lately.
Yes, he has.
Jack Sparrow's the only thing that he has left, so it's like, oh, people, forget about the 2 fucking piece of shit movies that I just made. I'm Jack Sparrow.
I will.
You have to know.
I'm going to give him the benefit that I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he actually does enjoy it. And
I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying that there's an agenda behind it.
Yeah.
When was the
how fun would it be?
When was the last time he showed up with long hair and saying like, "Yo, my mom is really really fat. You want to see her?"
Well, I think that that was one of those roles that he actually did enjoy a lot. Yeah. I mean, that has to be a fun role.
Yeah.
You get to act like a drunken buffoon. But. I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he actually kind of enjoys it, even though he's probably getting paid,
buku money.
Yeah. But, I thought it was pretty cool. I saw that video. I thought that was pretty sweet.
That being said, back to the whole zoo and how expensive that shit is. We did some shopping afterwards.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I look at I get like my student loan bill saying that your monthly due is it's in.
Your monthly due is your life savings.
So I look at it and I'm like, it you don't know how well it feels to like open an email and saying that it's 0.
Oh, yes I do.
Because it's not that they've been paid off, people. They've been delayed because I took a class, was it last year?
Okay.
Or was it earlier this year? No, it was last year. And you know how it's as long as you enroll, it extends for about a year before you have to start paying. So I think come October I'll have to start making payments, but for now it's like 0, and buying the car and having to pay for the title transfer and all that shit. All of a sudden, I realized that I'm like broke right now.
I've been there many times.
Like all of a sudden, excuse me. I look at my bank statement after this today's trip, and I'm like, man, I really need it to be next week or next Friday right now.
How many times did you have that in the Air Force?
Oh, a lot.
Oh my God. I think we got paid bi-weekly.
No, the first is not even bi-weekly. It's the 1st and the 15th.
Yeah.
So sometimes it'll be like 3 weeks before you see another paycheck.
But the good thing was that they always paid you like before a weekend or a holiday. But
Yeah. And if you had USAA, they pay you a day before.
yes, they did.
So
I didn't have it though. You always used to brag about it and be like, "Hey, I got my money," But
I got paid. I don't know about you.
I did get one thing off my credit that was like one of the big ones. That was going to be falling out. Like we were contesting it.
Yeah.
Because they had like some wrong information and everything, and that finally came off, and that was kind of a nice little relief, and because I don't want to see that shit on my credit report, especially when you're like, dude, that was so fucking long ago.
Yeah.
But young and stupid.
I mean, at least you didn't have a house foreclosed on you, so.
I'll keep my mouth shut.
Just saying. It could be worse, right?
Yes. I mean, the thing that annoys me the most is that there's people out there that will get, say, like a repo off their credit. Like their car got repoed 5 years ago, and they're able to finally get it off their credit, right? And the first thing they do is go out and buy a brand new car. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
I know.
It's like this whole time you haven't learned your lesson, after being hounded by credit companies. Whatever.
Yeah.
I know too many people like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's enough said. I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah. Well, we'll just keep it at that.
Yeah, we'll just keep it at that. But anyways, before I go, Lonnie.
Before you go.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we're almost at 2 hours,
yeah.
huh?
I did find a new channel on YouTube. It's called History Buffs.
Oh, I think I've seen one or two of these. Let me see.
I saw one for the Band of Brothers, and I saw one for Zulu. Like the Zulu tribe. It's an old movie with Michael Caine. It's really it's a really good channel, and you can go on like these fucking rabbit holes of like they're so the video.
I'm looking at it right now.
The videos are so well made that like you just like because the guy presents essentially it's a movie review of historical.
Yeah, I see.
Themes,
like
right?
He's got these top videos right now are like the historical accuracy of the Vikings television show.
Right.
He's got Braveheart, Last Samurai, We Were Soldiers, Saving Private Ryan.
So he does a review of the movie of historical movies, and then he'll point out like inaccuracies or stuff that works for the film, but in reality didn't really happen. But
okay,
it's really cool. And like I said, once you watch one, you can be hooked. It's like a fucking Netflix series where it's just like, oh, let me watch another one.
Is this gonna ruin some of these movies for me?
No, because Braveheart.
Is it gentle?
Braveheart.
Yeah, but we kind of know about Braveheart, don't we?
He fucking destroys Braveheart, but I love Braveheart though.
Yeah, I'll never stop watching Braveheart.
But he fucking destroys that one. But Band of Brothers, he does a really good job. And then Zulu is the one that I watch first, and that one's really good. And,
can I be honest with you real quick?
Yeah.
I've never seen Band of Brothers.
You've never seen Band of Brothers? I've seen a couple of episodes, and then I stopped. But
was it good?
The episodes that I saw were okay.
Not life changing.
Well, like I said, it's shot on the same style as Saving Private Ryan. So it's Tom Hanks is actually the producer, I believe, and
Spielberg is the director.
So, but if you watched it like after you joined the military, that's probably why you didn't watch it. If you see it before, it's an interesting, like, it'll keep you entertained, right? So, I stopped watching it because I was like, just like I can't watch it. I just couldn't watch it anymore.
Is it kind of like Jarhead for me? I can't watch that.
No, I mean Jarhead was like stupid actually.
Yeah, a lot of people like Jarhead, and I won't watch it because of the one scene where the guy gets the video from his wife.
Oh,
that kind of shit just fucks with me. I don't know. It's just
yeah.
'cause I don't find
that
it
one,
interesting.
I read the book, right? And
yeah,
when he's like, there's something that they don't show in the movie as far as like how he sees that,
Yeah.
and he's like, they have this guy in suicide watch for.
oh yeah, and he said that he wanted to continue watching because he hasn't, like as out of anger, something like that.
No, that doesn't happen in the book. Where he's like, well, why do you want to keep watching the video? He's like, well, I just want to know what it feels like for somebody to cheat on you or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that was just an add-on from the movie. That didn't happen. It didn't happen to him. But
Yeah.
but what he's saying in the book is, he watches it wasn't even in his platoon. Like, he just heard about it.
Yeah.
So he's like, they have this guy in suicide watch because they sent a video, yada yada yada, and then he's like, but fuck this guy. This guy's actually going home.
Yeah.
That's like his whole thing. Like, that's all he says about it. He's just like, fuck this guy. This guy's going home.
Yeah, that's
Well,
brutal, man.
well, I still have like my fucking balls like all like sweaty and shit. It's like you try to put Vaseline in there, it's like not enough. The fucking your skin is so dry, it still rubs on you, and you have like those fucking like.
I still don't understand how people actually live in that part of the world. Because the heat. Have you ever tried to explain how hot it is in the Middle East to someone, and they just don't get it? They try to compare it to like Louisiana.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, it gets really humid down in Louisiana, and it's always worse when it's humid. It's like, no, dude. When you go to Al Dhafra, that's basically an oasis. When you go out there and it's like 115
and in the
plus like 80% humidity.
Yeah.
That's hot.
Yeah, it's really hard. Like, I don't know.
I can understand why people go insane when they get deployed.
Yeah.
Just because it's worst weather conditions possible. And then of course, it's like one of the worst places to be as an American. Or basically anybody that gets deployed there.
Dude, it's even as a Mexican, it fucking sucks. I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
I don't hear any Mexicans saying like, "Hey, let's open up a Mexican restaurant in the Middle East."
No. There's too much pork in Mexican food.
I think it'll be a success, But anyways, I added a video on our Facebook page. Or
I'll allow it.
I tag a video, I guess. It's these guys playing Rage Against the Machine with toy instruments.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
It was pretty
I'm gonna
badass.
go watch it again because this is great.
It was pretty badass, I thought.
Yeah, there's the three guys with the toy drums and the toy guitar and stuff and the kazoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, enjoy. If you've never seen it, check it out. And Lonnie, I missed you, buddy.
I really missed you, Zumi.
I'm glad.
I'm sorry I wasn't able to talk to you.
Yeah, I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, I am feeling better. Thank you.
Let's do this again next week, yeah?
Sure, why not? All right, well, you ready for the outro and your tiny little dialogue afterwards?
I am.
All right, here we go. This episode of the Nothing Better to Listen to podcast can be downloaded on iTunes, Google Play, or directly from shoutengine.com. Be sure to leave us a review if you like the episode or if you hated it. Doesn't matter. Our bumper music is provided by bensound.com. You can like us on Facebook. You can talk to us on Twitter at NBTLT Podcast. You can send us an email to our new email address, which is mail@nbtlt.com or nbtltpodcast.com, excuse me. And that's on our brand new website, nbtltpodcast.com. We also have our Reddit home. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. It's catching up to me.
Our
new Reddit
it sounded
or
like you
Reddit
did a
home.
line of cocaine.
Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Our Reddit home is reddit.com/r/NBTLT. You can go there, talk to us on the threads that I put up every week for the episodes. Put a brand new thread up for each episode. And I think that's about it. Also, I'm going to try to add some stuff to the website. If anybody has any suggestions, things they'd like to see, you can go to the website and email us, or just directly email us to our website email, or you can still email us at our Gmail account. That's still fine. And if there's anything that you might want added to there that you'd like to see, just let us know. But there are some things that we're going to try to add to it and make it a little bit more user-friendly. It's pretty basic right now.
Extremely
beginning
basic.
stages. Yes. We'll be adding our privacy policy and all that stuff, and ways to get a hold of us, and stuff like that.
We reserve the right to call anybody an asshole.
Oh, and the other thing is that we do have a little section that we're going to be building a little bit more for our guests that we have on. Right now we have Sir Jag and his website that you can go to, that link. It's under the little section that says information on our guests. And we'd appreciate that every time we have a guest on, if you go ahead and take a look at their website and give them the hits and take a look at what they have going on in their lives, or whatever type of stuff they work on, that would really help them out too. So go ahead and continue with your little...
Oh, I was just going to say, like, it's because I don't think I told you, but I watched episode 1 and 2 of the new stand-up comedy from Dave Chappelle. The one they had for the next...
Yeah, I saw him.
Did I tell you about it, though?
That's not Dave Chappelle.
What do you mean that's not Dave Chappelle?
That's a clone, dude.
A clone of Dave Chappelle?
Dude, I'm telling you, there's just something off about it. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was funny. I liked it. It just didn't feel like Dave Chappelle.
Well, no, because it was more of a cynical comedy. I liked it.
Yes, and there's that, but I'm not talking about like the type of comedy that he did. I'm just saying that he, like, when I'm listening to it, I hear Dave Chappelle's voice. It just doesn't feel like Dave Chappelle.
Well, but it's because you want that all, like... No, it's not because I want something. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you there's something different. Yeah, he's more mature. He's older.
It's not it. Anyway.
I liked it.
Yes, I saw it.
Well, but there's and then I saw another one from Fluffy. If you haven't seen that one, that was pretty fucking hilarious, dude.
Fluffy?
Yeah. Gabriel Iglesias? Fluffy?
I don't like Gabriel Iglesias.
What?
I don't think he's funny at all.
Dude. Well, it's maybe because you don't get the Mexican references. The cultural references.
Honestly, Zumi, I grew up in Southern California. I get most of them. But I just don't... Like, especially like the toll bridge. Or not the toll bridge, but the joke he was talking about, like, you know, the checkpoint. Where you go into... Was it San Francisco or Sacramento?
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty funny, but... I don't like Gabriel Iglesias.
Oh, you blasphemous.
It's just not my type of humor.
I didn't want to end this fucking podcast like this, Lonnie. Now I'm
Fuck
upset.
That. I don't care.
Now I'm upset. I'm not going to sleep well. Thank you.
Are you going to cry? Well, you're not going to sleep well tonight because you're hurting like an old man.
It's like, this is coming from the guy who talked about fucking sick puppies in the morning at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah, fuck the dogs.
Oh, man. I'm telling you, this puppy better get better, dude. Like,
it's going to be all right, Simi.
Yeah. Because I already, like, taught him how to, like, sit and his name.
Oh, well, you don't want that to go to waste.
Exactly. I got a clicker.
Such a dick. Got him toys and everything. If this little fucker dies...
No, I think he's gonna be fine. I haven't heard from the vet, so that's good news. It's always good news, right? It's when they call you,
yeah.
They're like, "Oh, we had let's put him down.
Had an incident.
Had an incident." Like,
he threw up a lung, so he may be okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah. So, I'm still deciding on the name for our website, but we have like the most fucking unresponsive audience ever.
I think it's part of our signature. You know, it's like the name of our podcast is the Nothing Better to Listen to podcast. in the title, we already have you aren't doing anything anyway. So why not listen?
I know.
So they're not.
Well,
they may not put forth a lot of effort.
You're not. If you don't have nothing better to do, then listen. And after you're done listening, you can write. I'm just saying, drop a fucking line.
Anything. Seriously, we will read anything you send us. I don't care if it's all truthful stuff that makes fun of me or Zumi. I'll read it.
Yeah. Actually, just tell me a story. If you have a Guam story, I want to hear it.
Or if you have any story.
I want to hear a
Guam story would be good.
I blacked out, did a line of cocaine on
That's a
like
good
a girl's
one.
ass.
We could ask people for their blackout stories.
Yeah. Well,
or poop stories, like shit in your pants stories.
By Guam story, I don't mean like literally Guam. I'm saying like, like my story where it's just like
metaphorical Guam.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Where was your Guam?
Where was your Guam? Exactly. Hopefully.
Or where was your Mildenhall?
I
referenced mine.
I really hope like that the reason why my pants were down was because it was the chick that came back.
Nope, it wasn't a chick, dude.
Like my ass wasn't sore, so I think I'm good.
Well, then he was gentle.
But I was pissing like I had sex last night. So
that could also mean that you had a lot of prostate stimulation.
It could be. I mean, I was a fucking boy toy in my past life. So
yeah, you could have been. Could have been. What was your stage name? La Chancala. Oh my god. Okay, it's starting to get late and I'm getting silly.
All right. That's it, I guess, right?
That is going to be it. All right, folks. It was fun. I enjoyed being with Izumi, and listeners, we will see you guys next week.
Peace.
Thank you.